The neuroelectric circuit or the metaprogramming circuit is the sixth of the 8 circuits. This circuit is concerned with re-imprinting and reprogramming all earlier circuits and the relativity of realities perceived. The sixth circuit consists of the nervous system becoming aware of itself. Leary says this circuit enables telepathic communication and is activated by low to moderate doses of LSD, 50 to 150 μg, moderate doses of peyote, psilocybin mushrooms and meditation/chanting, especially when used in a group or ritual setting. This circuit is traced by Leary back to 500 BC. The nervous system becoming aware of itself apart from imprinted gravitational reality maps, circuits I4, and even apart from body rapture, circuit V. Count Korzybski, the semanticist, called this state consciousness of abstracting. Dr. John Lilly calls it metaprogramming, i.e., awareness of one's programming. This Einsteinian, relativistic intelligence, consciousness intelligence, recognizes, for instance, that the Euclidean, Newtonian, and Aristotelian reality maps are just 3 among billions of possible programs or models for experience. It is so far beyond the terrestrial tunnel realities that those who have achieved it can barely communicate about it to ordinary humanity. Circuits I4, and can hardly be understood even by Fifth Circuit rapture engineers. The characteristics of the neuroelectric circuit are high velocity, multiple choice, relativity, and the fission-fusion of all perceptions into parallel science fiction universes of alternate possibilities. The mammalian politics which monitor power struggles among terrestrial humanity are here transcended, i.e., seen as static, artificial, an elaborate charade. One is neither coercively manipulated into another's territorial reality nor forced to struggle against it with reciprocal emotional game-playing, the usual soap opera dramatics. One simply elects, consciously, whether or not to share the other's reality model. Tactics for opening and imprinting the Sixth Circuit are described and rarely experienced in advanced Raja Yoga, and in the Hermetic, coded, manuals of the medieval Renaissance alchemists and Illuminati. No specific Sixth Circuit chemical is yet available, but strong psychedelics like mescaline, from my 1962-63 Sacred Cactus, peyote, and psilocybin, from the Mexican magic mushroom, tianactl, open the nervous system to a mixed media series of Circuit V and Circuit 6 channels. Without scientific discipline and methodology, few can successfully decode the often frightening, but philosophically crucial, Sixth Circuit metaprogramming signals. Such scientists as do continue to study this subject dare not publish their results, which are illegal, and record ever wider tunnel realities only in private conversations, like the scholars of the inquisitorial era. The evolutionary function of the Sixth Circuit is to enable us to communicate at Einsteinian relativities and neuroelectric accelerations, not using Third Circuit laryngeal manual symbols but directly via feedback, telepathy, and computer link-up. Neuroelectric signals will increasingly replace speech, hominid grunts, after space migration. When humans have climbed out of the atmosphere gravity well of planetary life, accelerated Sixth Circuit intelligence will make possible high-energy communication with higher intelligences, i.e., ourselves in the future and other post-terrestrial races. It is charmingly simple and obvious, once we realize that the spaced-out neural experiences really are extraterrestrial, that getting high and spacing out are accurate metaphors. Circuit V neurosomatic rapture is preparation for the next step in our evolution, migration off the planet. Circuit 6 is preparation for the step after that, interspecies communication with advanced entities possessing electronic, post-verbal, tunnel realities. Circuit 6 is the universal translator often imagined by science fiction writers, already built into our brains by the DNA tape. Just as the circuits of the future butterfly are already built into the caterpillar.
Okay, so you just heard the description of the Sixth Circuit. Now, it took me like 2.5 years. I stayed in the Fifth Circuit pretty much. And now that I have like an outline and a gauge I can go by, I can tell you the timeline. It was like 2.5 years I was in the Fifth Circuit, making my way back around. Now, I do believe the first time I experienced the Sixth Circuit was Super Bowl 54 last year, a little over a year ago. I do believe that was the first time that my nervous system became aware of itself, and it was very scary and very terrifying at that point. It was like I said, it felt like I've done videos before about what it felt like to be, quote unquote, kicked out of time and seeing my daughter move in reverse. And that's when now that I look back and I have something I can go by and a description to help me gauge it, that's when my telepathic communications kind of started. Like when I could see it, when I started to get, as Click says, hunted. Same thing, because Court says hunted. The system started hunting me, and the telepathy, I could see it running in everybody in public, you know, when I would go out on rare occasions, like with the street theater, with gang stalking or being a targeted individual. And this really would have helped me a lot if I'd known, you know, about this 8 levels of circuitry when this was happening to me. But the Sixth Circuit, the telecommunication started, and telepathic communication, of being able to see it run in and out of people, just like the movie with Denzel Washington, The Fallen. You know, they're able, these Elohim or whatever they are that hunt you are able to jump from person to person, and the people in public and even in my family, I saw it, and I could really sense it in my daughter and, you know, my mom, and even started seeing it in my boyfriend too. But it was really bad with my daughter, and it was like, just like I was aware of my own programming, I was seeing my own programming, and I was seeing it on the phone too, starting with the AI stuff. This isn't when I, you know, got to the, but when I could tell my own awareness of my own programming, and the people around me, my daughter and my family, it's kind of, you know, it was hard to explain then, and it's not now because I have something to kind of go by. That's exactly what I saw, and it hunted me, and it was not fun, and it was leading up to drive me insane. And each one of these circuits gets worse and worse. The energy gets stronger and stronger, and at this point, you know, I could see the programming running in the people around me, and that was the scary part, because there was something in that programming that was hunting me. You know, it wasn't so bad with my family that I saw in it, but it was at Super Bowl 54 specifically. I could see the programming running my daughter bad, and I was very confused and very scared. And now I completely see, okay, that's where I was, and that's what was happening. I was connecting the Sixth Circuit. And then after that, I had more episodes, kind of like Super Bowl 54, and they got worse and worse. And so, yeah, and everything started looking fake. Like, the news always looks fake now to me. But, you know, you can get used to this energy. You can get used to these things, and having these circuits, access to these circuits. And, you know, because when I got out of the psych ward off the 7th floor, my brain was blowed, and I had to rise up like catatonic and just get my brain started back. And now I can see, you know, the Fifth Circuit, you started to drip for 2.5 years. Sixth Circuit drip turned up a lot. Drip. I remember talking about the drip, the big drip, the little drip, specifically around this time of the Super Bowl 54. And, you know, it was too much almost, I thought, but it got worse. So, yeah, I could see it. And, you know, all those things fall away with as far as politics and any of the parts of the matrix system. You know, it's a big machine. It's got lots of parts, the government and education and religion and crap. And so, the Sixth Circuit, yeah, it was terrifying not knowing, you know, I'm not a shaman, and I haven't, but, you know, I will be honest, I was doing meth when this was happening with the whole time, but no, I was doing less meth last year around Super Bowl 54 when the Sixth Circuit started coming than I was for the first 2.5 years in the Fifth Circuit. So I know that, I don't know how I accessed the Sixth Circuit. Because the drugs he talks about using to access, there's no drug to access the Sixth Circuit, I forget what he calls it, but the narration told you. Yeah. Yeah, none of those are meth. Meth is like low down circuit, like Fifth Circuit stuff. So, it was just like, well, I'm back now, connected still, and now I can see it all. I can see like I'm in the Sixth Circuit now, and it doesn't bother me. And I just found this last night, but it hasn't been bothering me for a while now. But it's taken a whole year to get, and I blew it all the way up to the top almost. So that was the Sixth Circuit. Yeah, that's scary. If you're these people that get their circuits connected, that have shamans, like have the money to travel to countries where they can have like people that have done this for centuries. So, you know, they're knowing they're knowing exactly where they are on the gauge when they're doing it, and they know how they got to, you know, there at that point as well. I mean, all the experiences I've had with DMT, acid, and mushrooms, I've eat a lot of mushrooms, but that was 10 years ago. Acid 15 years ago since I had that. DMT 2008, and so I didn't get to experience any of the things with like being in other dimensions with deliriums and stuff like that, like, and know exactly what was going on and get to really experience it the way you're supposed to. So that was the Sixth Circuit, and that's how I know that's where I was last year at Super Bowl 54, and getting ready to go up into the Seventh Circuit. So there you go. Love you, see you, bye. Okay, one more thing too. When it talked about in the Sixth Circuit, where you kind of skip the Third Circuit symbolism for communication. Yeah, that also is the Sixth Circuit. When it kept getting worse and worse, I finally did hear a voice, like synthetic telepathy, and I was communicating via feedback, telepathy, and computer link up. And the voice, it felt like it was AI trying to integrate with me. Like, it felt just like a computer link up. And I felt like I was integrating with a computer. I felt like I was becoming a machine. And then it talks about how we could be from the future, kind of, you know, back talking to ourselves. And that's what I thought, you know, it's a good possibility that it could have been. I kind of felt like there was a human on the other side of it, but now, I mean, I also thought that it could have been me from the future too. That was also a possibility I looked at. So that was also at the Sixth Circuit. That was at the very top of the Sixth Circuit though, like getting ready to go into the Seventh Circuit. So I forgot about those two experiences while I was in there. I had to come back and add those. So yeah, that was the Sixth Circuit. Very scary, very terrifying if you don't know what's going on, what's happening, which I just now have gotten a complete full click. It even explains the gangstalking and the targeted individual stuff. I mean, really. So now, love you, see you, bye.